Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk about a film from 1992, written and directed by Paul Schrader, 10 years after he did Cat People. It's kind of a collection of his man dealing with a crisis kind of a thing, like Taxi Driver and American Gigolo and kind of this holy triptych. Written and, of course, directed by him, starring Willem Dafoe. They met on the set of Last Temptation of Christ, and then they would go on to do very many other movies, like Affliction, Out of Focus, The Walker, Dog Eat Dog with Nicolas Cage. Yeah. I kind of still like that movie.
And the card counter, which we covered.
And they recently did a card counter.
Yeah.
So it's a relationship that's been started. This is the first movie they did together. Also stars Susan Sarandon and Dana Delaney. And special appearances by David Spade's in there.
Yeah, that was a weird surprise.
Yeah, there's also a cinematographer. I want to talk about that before I get into the content. Is Edward Lockman. He would also do cinematography for Less Than Zero, Catch Fire. One of the best movies Soderbergh ever did, The Limey, and Virgin Suicides with Sofia Coppola, which is another
very well shot.
Very well shot.
Yeah.
But also he really did out with the movie Carol with Cate Blanchett in that.
Oh yeah.
This is a movie talking about leading man characters with antisocial behaviors, anxiety, and not to mention addictions. Paul Schrader is known to work in this kind of mesh of underbelly, kind of dark side of society.
Yeah, a man cracking under the surface.
Right. Willem Dafoe in this movie plays an elite drug dealer. He has a high, expensive clientele. He's a recovering drug addict, but it's hard to get another profession when you've been into this. And not to mention, the money is easy. So he kind of tries to maintain a morality. He's trying to get out. There's always a sense of what's especially like Travis Bickle of wanted to do better but don't know how, and their solution's never the right one.
Yeah, this job didn't really aid a resume.
Right. Experiences. Also, you get another appearance I was going to mention by Sam Rockwell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Early 90s, this fits the aesthetic of early 90s because we talked about in the late 80s, Say No to Drugs, this campaign that actually kind of almost heightened drugness. It's almost like telling people don't think of elephants, what are they going to do? Think of elephants.
Or like a character saying, I'm
the
clean.
Dare to Take Off Drugs campaign didn't really work in his favor, but this shows another thing of almost like Elmore Leonard, of people who have normal jobs are far boring. Yes, people who have unconventional jobs are far more enticing to write about. Very much muted colors, very metallic. This is a very sad story. You can understand Taxi Driver for the heightened violence of it, to the heightened intensity of action. There's really not a lot of this. It's very slow, but very gut-punching at the same time. Dana Delaney plays Willem Dafoe's former married partner, and you have this sense of a very realistic dialogue of people who have been recovering addicts of, we had some good times. No, we were always high. It wasn't really based in reality. And you have Willem Dafoe, who kind of not really based in reality, but also very much like the Trees Lounge, where I'm a recovering addict, but my God, you're an addict.
Yeah.
It's almost like
I'm clean, but I can still sell.
I can still sell it, yeah. There's really no good answers to this movie. Everybody's kind of condemned. I won't say this is a noir, but it has that very fingerprints of there's not going to be a happy ending to anybody, these characters. Even Dana Delaney's character, who is a recovering addict for 5 years, understands that getting contact with Willem Dafoe is dangerous. And of course, she's just like a moth to the flame. Eventually starts her on the wrong path as well. Susan Sarandon is working in drugs, but she has this moonlight. I'm eventually getting into cosmetics, and nobody's ambitions ever come into fruition. What I like about what Paul Schrader did with this movie, opposite of what Martin Scorsese did with Taxi Driver, is he filmed this anytime there's a dialogue scene, it's very condensed and compact. But every time there's existential thinkings or thoughts, it goes exploration, like cityscapes. Willem Dafoe, when he's taking inventory about his life, well, he goes out in the city and you see the city's also garbage strike and there's garbage everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not really so much almost like the aesthetic. There's no sanitation to this water. No, you can't wipe this off. Kind of a thing to this aesthetic that no matter you've been a recovering addict, it's a stain that stays with you. You try to improve your life, it's not going to happen the way you want it to. Relationships are broken. They're not going to mend the same way that's going to go back. In fact, there's a scene where they actually do it again, and Dana Delaney, they get together, and Dana Delaney's like, leave, I'm done with you.
Yeah, she needed that closure.
Yes. So overall, I think if you're a Paul Schrader fan, this is a movie you must see. But understand, it's a movie that it's not resonating for happiness and joy.
That's not something Schrader's known for either, though.
No, but hardcore, you get The Punch or something like that. Or Cat People, you get your horror movies. Here, it is just drudgery. It's almost like being on the floor beaten down, and you still get beaten down. So it's hard for people to digest, but if you like Paul Schrader, and if you like his writing, I think it's a highly recommend movie to see.
Yeah. Well, my question for you this week, Nick,
Boy.
is Paul Schrader, to my knowledge at least, I've always associated him as being the single guy on a journey cracking under the system. And he's done multiple films, including like a trilogy of recent films, which we covered one. So let me know, which is the Paul Schrader single guy breaking under the surface that you would most want to hang out with for the evening?
It's not Willem Dafoe. I don't know. It's not autofocus guy either. I don't know. It'd be hard. Well, let's just stick with Willem Dafoe because we're talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You maybe don't want to hang out with Travis Bickle and go on a night run and taxi driving?
No, because you take me to places I don't want to be. Right.
Wake up with your surprise when you're with Richard Gere from Gigolo as well.
Yeah. So, tell me what you think of Light Sleeper. Paul Schrader considered it's one of the most personal film of his ever made, and see if you agree.